Hello, I'm Seema Sinha. In today's session, I will talk about experiential learning and how to use experiential learning activities in your class. When we talk about experiential learning, we are all aware that the new education policy 2020 emphasizes greatly on this strategy to achieve and facilitate experiential learning. The existing pedagogical approaches need to be renewed significantly. In simple language, the crux of experiential learning is play, activity, and inquiry based pedagogy. That is the focus. Learning outcomes should guide any activity planning and their implementation. Assessment will shift to examining the learning process rather than assessment of learning through pen and paper tests. I will take you through a lesson based on experiential learning from the main course book Altura Social Studies, published by Macmillan Education. So learning activities, learning outcomes that are there for this chapter are examine evidences of the past to reconstruct history, identify the elements of continuity and change, and apply these elements in their study of history, because the chapter is what is history. Now, to start with, plan your pedagogical activities aligned with these learning outcomes. Here is a lesson plan that will help you, achieve this. The lesson is from grade 3, when learners have no concept of past or history. So do the warm-up activity first. So for this activity, students need to carry 3 photos: when they were a baby or they were just born, at a play school, and now, which is the present time. So in the lesson plan, you will find some, tips, like ask the students to observe the 3 pictures, ask them if they have changed since the time they were born, encourage students to tell what the differences are in the 3 pictures. Now you can see that, students are making observations, recording their observations, and using compare and contrast skills to infer how they have changed. Responses will vary from child to child. Please appreciate and record their responses. This will help you in assessing and developing learning later. You can now, introduce them to the concept of what is past and reinforce it with another experiential learning called quick check. So this is to reinforce the concept of present, past, and future. Today is the day of the week. Then yesterday was the day of the week. So the question, answers will vary again. The time past, present, and future mentioned in brackets will help them know that the activities they did or will do is a part of their past, or present, or future. We now move to another key concept of this lesson called history is the story of change and what continues from the past. Now, if you just read it out to your students, they will not understand much, which will automatically lead to rote learning. Learners cannot learn by themselves or by reading or observing. They need to actively participate in the experience by feeling it using all their 5 senses. So what is the solution? It is experiential learning, of course. The stage 1 of experiential learning is concrete experience, which brings us to this activity, which is rightly called doing history. You will see that it leads to a great learner's engagement. Now, interview your grandparents and parents for the required information, which is means of going to school, games, and leisure activities, connecting with friends, people, class resources used to teach study, how it was in their grandparents' time, their parents' time, and in their own time. So the next stage of experiential learning is reflection. This should include three questions: what, why, and how. Allow your students to reflect on what did they do, why did they do it, and how did they do it. You can ask them to reflect what has changed or not changed, why it has changed, and how it has changed. When you're doing this, you are letting your learners think and share their views freely. In the process, they are using creative and critical thinking skills and effective communication skills, all of which are the 21st century skills, all of which is also a part of metacognition. They can then share and exchange their ideas with their fellow students and learn from each other's experiences. Stage three of experiential learning is abstract conceptualization. In this, learners create theories to explain their experiences. They will, in this stage, gather and analyze the information and draw conclusions. So, in this activity, again, after collecting all the information, they need to draw conclusions and make a judgment as to what has not changed and continued from the past, what is alike today. So you can see that students are moving from abstract to concrete when they collect their own sources of information and link it to the new learning. You will also appreciate that the students are using all their five senses to do this activity. At this point, you can introduce them to other concepts in the chapter. So you can, take them through related concepts as to what are the sources, why a historian should engage with it, and how it helps in constructing history. This will take you to the fourth stage of experiential learning called active experimentation. This is the final stage where the learners apply what they have learned while learning by doing so they can analyze and construct history. Learners play a pivotal role in constructing their own knowledge. And these are the teaching strategies given in the lesson plan that will help you conduct all these activities related to experiential learning in this lesson. There are many more such experiential learning activities in this lesson, such as this one, and these can all be done in a similar fashion. I'm leaving you with a list of suggested uh, learning activities which are experiential in nature. So this is just a suggestive list. You can add more to this and make your class engaging, where students are not passive learners but active participants in constructing their knowledge. Thank you.